The night was bitter, the kind of cold that gnawed at your bones and slowed your thoughts. Deep in the snow-covered Ardennes forest, Belgium, Private James Walker crouched behind a shattered tree, his breath visible in the frozen air. Moments ago, his entire platoon had been ambushed, leaving him alone, lost and hunted. Every snap of a branch could mean death, every shadow could hide an enemy. And then, barely audible over the whistling wind, he heard it, a faint groan, almost lost, yet unmistakable. The choice was immediate: flee to save himself or risk everything for another life. That night, James would discover that true courage is not measured by medals or victory, but by the choices made when survival hangs by a thread. The winter of 1944 was merciless. Snow blanketed the Ardennes in thick layers, turning the forest into a labyrinth of white. The trees, heavy with frost, towered like frozen sentinels. The ground was slippery and uneven, every step demanding complete focus. In this frozen maze, survival was a delicate balance of skill, instinct, and sheer willpower. James Walker had been through months of fighting, yet nothing had prepared him for the Battle of the Bulge. His unit had been sent to Belgium to reinforce Allied positions, unaware of the massive German offensive that would soon strike. They moved cautiously, aware that any misstep could be fatal. And yet, despite their training, the ambush caught them completely off guard. The early morning sky was gray and frost covered the trees. Explosions ripped through the forest. Shells tore the ground apart. Soldiers screamed. Chaos reigned. James dove for cover, rolling behind a shattered oak. Around him, men fell, some screaming, some silent in their final moments. The world became a blur of smoke, snow, and fear. By midday, the gunfire ceased. Silence fell over the forest, heavy and oppressive. James surveyed the devastation. His platoon was scattered, many gone. Hunger, fatigue, and cold pressed down on him like a physical weight. Alone, he started moving cautiously through the trees, seeking any sign of life, friend or foe. Hours passed. The wind cut through his uniform, numbing his fingers and toes. His energy waned, yet he pressed on, guided by sheer determination. Then he heard it, a faint sound, weak and desperate, a moon. He froze, listening. Following the noise, he found a soldier, barely conscious, lying in the snow. Blood stained his uniform. It was Daniel Harris, separated from his unit during the ambush. James faced a choice that would define him: leave Daniel behind to increase his own chances of survival, or stay, risking both of their lives. There was no hesitation. He would not abandon a man in need. Night fell. James worked tirelessly to stabilize Daniel, using torn cloths to staunch bleeding, melting snow for water, and sharing his sparse rations. Enemy patrols could appear at any moment. Each sound of breaking twigs, each distant shout sent his heart racing. Yet he stayed, guarding the wounded soldier through the coldest hours of the night. By dawn, Daniel's condition improved enough to move, but he could not work unaided. James hoisted him onto his shoulders. The weight was immense, every step through deep snow a battle against fatigue and frostbite. Several times he stumbled, nearly falling, but each time he rose, driven by a resolve that burned hotter than the winter wind. Time slowed. The snowstorm thickened. Visibility dropped. James's breath came in ragged gasps, each one visible in the frigid air. Pain radiated from every muscle, yet he pressed on. Hours turned into what felt like eternity. He thought of home, of his family, of the promise to return alive. Each thought reinforced his determination. Suddenly, a sound. Voices. American voices. Relief surged through him. Soldiers emerged from the forest, taking Daniel from James's shoulders, ensuring they were safe. He collapsed into the snow, exhaustion threatening to claim him. But amid the relief was pride, a deep, enduring knowledge that he had chosen courage when no one watched. James's journey had begun long before the Ardennes. Born in a small Ohio town, he had spent childhood working in his father's garage, learning mechanics, responsibility, and the value of hard work. Enlistment had given him purpose, yet the battlefield refined him. Each firefight, each night in the snow, each challenge honed his instincts, courage, and compassion. Through the months that followed, James faced countless trials. During another patrol, he and a small team were tasked with crossing enemy territory to deliver vital intelligence. The path was treacherous, snowdrifts hiding landmines, enemy snipers patrolling every ridge. One night, under a moonless sky, their unit was ambushed again. Bullets tore through the silence. James acted with decisive precision, guiding his men to cover, pulling the wounded to safety, using terrain and shadows to outmaneuver the enemy. It was a series of decisions made in split seconds, each one determining life or death. Beyond physical challenges, the psychological toll was immense. James watched friends fall, some to enemy fire, some to desperation. Letters from home brought fleeting comfort, but also reminded him of what was at stake. Every choice weighed heavily. Every act of courage or hesitation carried consequences. In the evenings, when temporary camps were set, James often sat alone, reflecting on what it meant to be a soldier. He realized courage wasn't about heroics or accolades. It was quiet, unseen, and often unacknowledged. It was the determination to act rightly, even when no one could witness, even when survival was uncertain. One particularly harsh night, a severe snowstorm struck. Visibility dropped to almost nothing, and freezing winds made every movement agony. James was tasked with navigating a wounded comrade to safety. The path was obscured, yet James's instincts and experience guided them. At one point, they were forced to cross a frozen creek. Ice cracked beneath them, water threatening to swallow them whole. James carried Lee across, slipping but refusing to let go, each second a potential disaster. They emerged on the other side, drenched, cold, but alive. The war raged on, and James endured, witnessing humanity at its darkest and brightest. Acts of selflessness, moments of humor, shared memories around tiny campfires. These were lifelines in a world consumed by destruction. Each choice, each small act contributed to a legacy beyond medals. By the time Allied forces pushed back across Europe, James had become more than a soldier. He was a symbol of perseverance, compassion, and the extraordinary potential within ordinary men. His story, particularly the night he saved Daniel in the Ardennes, became legendary in his unit, inspiring generations of soldiers and civilians alike. Years later, James returned home. Ohio was quiet compared to the forests of Belgium, yet every winter reminded him of the lessons of courage, sacrifice, and humanity. He shared his story sparingly, emphasizing that true heroism isn't found in glory or recognition, but in the choices one makes when no one is watching, when the stakes are highest, and when fear is the only constant companion.